Hello and welcome to the Gaia update for August 2015. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, there's so much going on, just tons of aspects again. And the main thing that we're feeling, though, is Venus retrograde. Now, Venus retrograde is a 6-week cycle, and it started on the last week of July. And so it goes until September 7th. And so in August, we are really going into the heart of this Venus retrograde. Now, the interesting thing is that Venus is retrograde. It went retrograde at the beginning of Virgo. And so it's gone back into Leo and spending quite a long journey into Leo because of this retrograde all the way into October. And so we're really asking us, Leo wants to express love. And so Venus retrograde in Leo is saying, what do we really want, and how do we really express what we really want? How do we have the confidence to express the truth of who we really are? And a lot of the aspects, other planetary aspects, are really defining. This is a defining moment this August of 2015, of this year. So much powerful stuff is happening. Venus is our planet of love, connection, relationships, community, and compassion. And so we are really, it can be a very vulnerable time. So just be really gentle with yourself and other people as we tread into this very tender territory. And so it's interesting because Venus is going from Virgo back into Leo, while the Sun this month and Mercury and Jupiter are making the sojourn from Leo into Virgo. So this Leo-Virgo cusp is just really potent and really powerful. And so then in around the 20th of this month, when the sun goes, I think on the 22nd, when the sun goes into Virgo, we're going to be feeling that shift. What is this cusp about? Leo wants to express and have confidence and open the heart. And Virgo wants to clean up the act. And so this transition, this energy between Leo and Virgo is kind of like, okay, what's the practical earthly steps that we can do to clean up our life, to allow our structures of our life? So much of the astrology of the last few years is about allowing the structures of our life to fall away that are no longer serving our deepest soul needs. But what are our soul needs? Who are we? This is about moving into the Aquarian age. And this month, we're having lots of aspects that are clarifying this. This is starting with Mercury is a huge player, and now we had Mercury do that retrograde cycle in Aquarius this year, and it kind of set the tone for the whole year. Mercury is our messenger, wants to understand. And so what does it mean to be a person, a human in the Aquarian age? And we're starting to figure that out. First, on our individual level, this Venus retrograde is about, what do I really, really want? What's really going to make me happy? And then what do I need to do as we move into Virgo to clean up my life, to make it more clear, to say to the universe, yes, I'm willing to receive your help in building a new foundation for a new self, a new soulful self, a new human self, a new spiritually aware self. And that's coming to terms with what in the deepest depths of who you are, what you really need. And so this Venus retrograde can be really, like I said, that vulnerable time. Another thing that can happen is because Venus rules relationships, a lot of times it's going back into the past. So we're reviewing issues from the past. That often means that people will show up from the past relationship partners, and maybe you examine or entertain the idea of dancing back into a relationship. And maybe it's about completing the past so that you can move forward this year, especially because right after the Venus retrograde in the beginning on September 1st and November 1st, we've got the sweetest astrology happening where Venus and Mars, our male and female planet, come together in conjunctions. And so that's really, really encouraging for new partnerships, new soul relationships. It's not just intimate partnerships, but perhaps business relationships, friendships, and family. And extended family, community. And so it's kind of like right now we're going into the depths of ourselves, figuring out what we really want so that we can be in a place to bring in the new structures, the new relationships that are going to support us on the deepest level, and letting go of the relationships, the jobs, the situations, the houses, all the things that aren't supporting us. And of course, as we do this in our microcosm, we are affecting the macrocosm, because we all know some shit needs to change on this planet. And so when we're willing to stand up in that Leo confidence of especially this first week and second week of August, just moving into this, being willing to stand up and be confident in the expression of the truth of who we are, so that we can allow the universe to support us in shifting into the structures that better support us. So we have Mercury and Venus coming together at the beginning of the month, and so we've got our loving and that's retrograde, and how do I express it? What do I need? What are my soul needs? And then we've got Mercury the messenger together right there in Leo, this expression of the self. So Mercury is informing us about how to communicate our new sense of self. And so it's a very empowering time, but at the same time, very, very vulnerable, because our core issues, the ones that are in the way of us really taking the life we want, they are on the forefront. They are on the table. There is no denying. But the beautiful thing is that it's happening for all of us. And so we can use all that Cancer energy we had last month to continue to nurture ourselves into opening our hearts, nurturing ourselves into trusting again, and to creating and receiving the support from the universe that we need to fully live. You know, it's like this Venus retrograde is an opportunity to decide to fully live, and decide that you want the universe, you want to receive that support to be able to fully actualize who you really are. And so Mercury and Venus coming together are really supporting that. But guess what? They're also coming together with Jupiter. And Jupiter's been in Leo for over a year now, and about a year and a half. And it's moving into Virgo this month. So it's really powerful, because Jupiter is a big, slow-moving planet. It's our expansion, our luck, our dreams, our visions, our spiritual seeking. And so Mercury and Venus are personal planets of love and understanding, coming up with Jupiter saying, wow, look at our wider self. Look at the truth of who we really are, humanity. We are amazing particles of God, creation, energy, in our body, a fractal of the universe. And what can we do with that? We can do anything we want with that. So it's like this really strange juxtaposition right now in the outward most summer months in the northern hemisphere, but with such acute vulnerability, and yet such an opportunity for empowerment. At this first week of August is in this Lionsgate portal, you know, so it's this opportunity to really step into the confidence to be you, stand up for the life you really need and want, to be the best you can be. And so these come together with Jupiter, and we're expanding and we're learning and we're growing, and we want to express all of this, but then they're all squaring up together with Saturn. Now Saturn is the opposite of Jupiter pretty much. Jupiter is expansion and dreams and visions and possibilities. And Saturn is like, show me the money, like rules, regulations, red tape, structures, the limitations of this world. We're coming up against the physical structures that are not willing to move to support humanity in its shift. And that has been, of course, the astrology of the last 3 years, as we had this Pluto-Uranus square, being like bringing revolutionary change, bringing death and rebirth to the structures of our life, revolutionary change to our identity and our sense of self. And so we're having this interesting juxtaposition of just empowerment and limitation, expansion and questioning, vulnerability. And it's this, I'm seeing it as this, you know, when you come to the corner of your life at certain times, and this is one of those corners, and we're coming to the corner, and it's time, it's just this incredibly powerful opportunity to shift around the corner. And so the best thing you can do is be really present with what's happening now. The gifts and messages coming forward about the lingering pains of the past, the core issues that are continuing to hold you down. All of this is coming forward right now with that subtle push of real confidence, being able to move through to a new level of commitment to who we really are. And so as we move through the month, the planets start beginning to move into Virgo. So in the second week of the month, Mercury and Jupiter together move into Virgo. And so we've got this kind of play going on over this cusp, and it's so powerful. As we move into that earth sign, Virgo wants to clean it up and wants to build anew. And so we are being able to support the seeds of the new beginnings, support the seeds of our new self, many people are kind of waking up to kind of being like, having great realizations, that Mercury energy about what you really might want to do here. Kind of like spending a whole lifetime or half a lifetime flailing around, kind of just experiencing with the wheel of fate, and now it's time for direction to come. And it's can be a feeling of a rude awakening sometimes, like, oh gosh, everything that I thought I wanted isn't actually satisfying on any level. What I really want is this. And so, of course, that's coming back to the theme of this Venus retrograde, and we are going deep into the heart of it, the Leo heart, the Leo retrograde, Venus in Leo. And here we go into the sojourn of the heart, a great opportunity to release the chains that are keeping your heart closed and move into that future of expression of the truth of who you are. And so then Mercury has a lot of powerful aspects. Mercury and the Sun, both this month, oppose Neptune and Chiron, but at the same time trine Pluto. So Pluto's the destroyer there in Capricorn, and Mercury, after it moves into Virgo, it creates this opposition with Neptune and then Chiron, and the Sun does that as well. So later in the month. So first Mercury the messenger, and then the Sun moving through all these aspects, opposing Neptune. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces in Pisces. That's the past age. We're looking at issues of martyrdom, sacrifice, illusions. What's real? What's illusion? Mercury wants to understand. And so we're picking apart our past to come to, sometimes those hard realizations, sometimes incredibly refreshing realizations that can catapult us into the future. This is the opportunity of this time. It's just this kernel of amazing turning point, empowerment, stepping onto your path in a new way. And so Mercury then opposes Chiron. That's the wounded healer in Pisces. So we're looking at these deep wounds, the deep wounds of abuse, the deep wounds of being the abuser or the abused, the pains of the past, of what humanity went through. It's time for us to remove all of this from our field, and be able to then, of course, affect that macrocosm, that collective, being like, no, this is actually the truth of us now. And so that's why this is such an empowering time. So then the Sun comes up. Now, before these planets do the opposition with Chiron and Neptune, Mercury and the Sun also trine Uranus. And so Uranus is in Aries, and so that's while they're still in Leo. So before they go into Virgo and make those oppositions with Neptune and Chiron, they trine Uranus, and that is just an incredibly harmonious aspect, again, pointing towards the identification, the understanding, the revolution in our identity of who we really are and what we really care about and what we need on a deep soul level to have the confidence and support from the universe to shine. To shine, to be who we really are, to take back our earth, take back our life, to really live. And so just the astrology is just insane this month. So many aspects between so many planets, and it really comes down to this juxtaposition of like, wait, I'm feeling empowered, I'm feeling more of a sense of who I really am, I'm feeling like I want to get my life cleaned up and get in order. I want to open my heart and release the pain of the past. I want to let go of what's not serving me so I can be open to this magical energy of the fall with these two Venus-Mars conjunctions, bringing that soul team together, your soul relationships, your intimate soul relationships, your soul team, your family, and so we can start to get to work on these bigger projects. And so right now it's kind of like deep into the wormhole. What do I need to do to open my heart, to clean up my act, to support myself, nurture the seeds of who I really am in this journey? And so I wish the best to you in this sojourn into this powerful energy of this month of August 2015. At the beginning of this month, we had a shift where Saturn has been retrograde for quite a while since last fall, and now is going direct. So that is a huge, huge shift of energy. and Saturn going back into Scorpio. Now Saturn is going to make its way in next month in September back into Sagittarius. Now Saturn in Sagittarius is a very different energy, and it's than Saturn in Scorpio. Saturn in Scorpio is making the work. It's our work duty karma planet. Saturn, the limitations, the rules, and so we really had to go and delve into our shadow. Now it's turned the corner, and we're going back forward. We're going back forward with our karma. And sometimes when that happens, the shit can kind of hit the fan. So the first part of August can be kind of like, whoa, karma central, bam, 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 all these things kind of happening. Maybe having to kind of duck out of the way of some influences as Saturn kind of rattles our cage and starts moving direct. But as it moves into Sagittarius next month, we're going to be feeling this lightness where the work and duty, the karmic work that we're called to do collectively has to do with that Sagittarius energy, which Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. That's that expansion, spiritual seeking, our spiritual understanding, our wider perspective, luck. And so we are making work of our magic. Very different than delving into the shadow. And so it's kind of like, go ahead and move into this vulnerable time of Venus retrograde. Go ahead and face those core issues. Go ahead and just puke it all up on the table, purge it out, cry your tears, write your story, go talk to Mother Earth and be in the woods. You know, where is your therapy for this? Because what you're preparing for is a whole new way of living, a whole new way of life, a whole new era in the human culture. And that's beginning next month with that Venus and Mars conjunction right at the beginning of September. So I hope you have a great journey, and I look forward to connecting with you next time as we move into this really powerful and magical fall and coming together, culmination of 2015 and all of the empowering but vulnerable lessons and situations as we completely release those chains of the past. Just completely rewrite the story is what we're being invited to do. And so best to you in that process of rewriting your story. I look forward to next time. I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.